How long has the Werewolf by Night been in the MCU and how old is he? Well, we don't have a direct answer, but it looks like it's more than 200 years and possibly up to 400 years, which honestly does make sense if you've ever looked at the Marvel Werewolf by Night and Blade comics. So this comes at us directly from Marvel, where the Werewolf by Night himself, Gael Garcia, Jack Russell, talked a little bit about the age of the character and how he approached him. And he says that there's many of the aspects of this character that have yet to be explained and that he's not even fully sure of the details, but what they told him he's comfortable with talking about. And he says that one of them is that there was a werewolf, and there are werewolves who have lived many years. It says that when it comes to Jack Russell, he's been alive for anywhere between 200 to 400 years, and that he's already had different entanglements with different corners of the Marvel universe. We just haven't seen that story play out. So what he's referencing here is obviously his knowledge of the comics, and quite obviously you have characters like Ulysses Bloodstone, who ended up passing away as the special opens. He would have been hunting the werewolf, and the Bloodstones, in their history, would have been doing the same thing. Obviously, because they're kind of like a Van Helsing type of character in Marvel. And then you go all the way back to what he's saying he's had entanglements with other characters. Characters like Dracula have crossed paths with werewolves, and the curse of the werewolf and how it spawns from the Darkhold and everything. You can see what he's saying here without directly addressing it or saying it. So currently in the MCU, out of all the characters we've seen in modern day, he is the oldest. And this kind of makes sense. Again, the curse that was put upon Jack Russell, if that's what they're going to do, does all fit in. I just hope that at some point they get to really explain it and go down into really telling us the story of how he got his powers and where it originated and the rivalry with various factions of, you know, back in the day things. Witchcraft, the occult, the covens, Dracula, the different vampire groups, if you will. I think that's what they're going to be called, probably, I'm assuming. Or I guess factions is technically a correct term. So I hope that we get to it, because I would love to see a historic representation of what was Jack up to in like the 1800s. Because there's a lot of interesting stuff that was happening in history, and the old belief of the occult was still very real and very much a thing. So how has he managed to survive for so long, and what was he doing? There's a lot of stuff there that I think fits an interesting, maybe follow-up special, or I don't know, maybe even a series, who knows.